Shut up and sit down.
This Wambu shrine is getting out of control right here. Like, seriously, this Wambu, I thank you, very handsome Wambu. This photo's insane. Then I got my normal, and then I got, my aura. Insane.
Welcome back to another episode of the Bias Effect Podcast. It's a beautiful, sunny, snowy Sunday afternoon, and I'm your host, QJ.
And welcome to the KB's 25 news radio station. This is Nikki on this beautiful, sunny, snowy afternoon. And speaking of beautiful days, we're going to be talking about Day 6.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we're jumping into another full band episode, and we briefly talked about Day 6 before, and I'm so curious about them because I've said it time and time again, but Bang Chan always mentions them as like a huge inspiration to him, so I was like, okay, let's take a look. And we listened to their comeback the other, a couple months ago. I dove into them, and very interesting history, so.
Since we listened to that comeback, I just feel like I'm seeing them everywhere now. So I'm like, I need to know who these people are.
Yes. Yeah, you were getting a bunch of content for them and
yeah, I was like,
stuff,
okay, sure.
Who are they? Okay, so Day 6. They debuted on September 7th, which seems like a missed opportunity there, but instead of September 6th. But anyway. September 7th, 2015. So again, been 10 years, which lines up with their last release, was the 10-year anniversary. Their fandom name is called My Day. And their fandom reveal date was June 7th, 2017. It's supposed to be chosen because it signifies that the fans and the bands are important to each other and they fill each other's day up. Okay.
It's so funny whenever we see these, and then there's always an excuse. Every time we read this, the carrot one was symbolizes the diamond, there's 17 diamonds or whatever. I'm like, okay, it's you don't have to explain to me. You can just say, this is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And then even this,
filling up each other's days, your Day 6, my day, we get it. I don't need you to make up a reason.
Yeah, and it came 2 years after they debuted, so the fan base did express kind of disappointment because they thought better names like Daylight or Daydreamer. I was like, that's true. Daydreamer's sick and Daylight is also sick, but they're like, no, My Day. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. But
yeah,
the actual name Day 6, they used to have 6 members. And all members were representative of the 6 days in the week, while the 7th day was the fans. Okay, so again, like you said, you're like, sure. I'm sure that's why I'm sure that's exactly why they did. So yeah, but their greeting is, hello, we are Day 6.
Perfect.
And one of the first unique things that we noticed about this band right away was they don't have a light stick, but they have a light band. So it's like a little, Apple Watch, just a watch, but with a ginormous, centerpiece. They have 3 versions of this. So the first one was from 2018, second one is 2020, and the third one is 2023. And you'll notice on the first one, it just has, a giant one singular leaf on it, and the other 3 have 3 leaves. So I was like, okay, what the heck is this leaf situation?
Doesn't really fit in with the day theme.
Exactly. I truly didn't really understand it, so I had to really dig to find some information. So I eventually found a thread on Reddit, so just keep that in mind. They've always had a leaf as some kind of symbol, and each leaf, it represents a generation. So if it's 3 leaves, that's the 3rd generation of their fan club. So sure.
What?
Okay. But then I found even more information on, I think this was on some kind of post from actual JYP on Twitter or something. But basically the leaf spells out in Korean, if you break it down symmetrically, it breaks out to say My Day. And then it's in English too. They have the longer leaf. You can see here in my notes. It says, apparently the leaf spells out my day in some capacity.
I mean,
you can see the breakdown.
that's a real stretch.
Girl.
Like the way that
MYDAY
is, like, this is a stretch.
I tried to spell it out, like, how they have it, and I'm like, sure. I eventually went, sure. I'm sure it fits in there somehow.
The only one, oh no, I see the A.
I see it.
Yeah, I see them, yeah, but like...
It's tough. So...
Sure.
Apparently, then the leaf spells out my day. So that's why you have a leaf, sure.
Sure.
And then, yeah, if you can see here too, I also have a description of why they have so many leaves, and it, yeah, again, it's supposed to just represent the level of generations of their fan club. So
I don't understand this generations how, like, every 5 years, like, they've only been around for 10 years, so how is it third generation? I don't get that.
Yeah, I
I mean, I guess you don't know either. Like, there's no information, but
it's tough. It was tough for me to find.
This
yeah,
doesn't really make
solid
sense
information.
To me. But sure.
And if that's the case too, it's a good point because their 2023 light band has only 3 leaves on it, so I don't understand.
Yeah, like why didn't it
change? So
sure,
a
whatever.
lot of stuff there.
Sure.
It's represents the fans, great.
I mean, it's banging. I do like the wristband thing.
It's cute. It's cute. I love the color scheme. They don't have official colors, but it's always the light band is always like a tealish green, kind of like Chinese color.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And I could only, again, I tried to look so hard into why they decided to do light bands instead of a light stick. And the theory was, again, I found this on Reddit, but it was only a theory, speculation only, was that because they play instruments, they wouldn't have to hold a light stick. But I'm like, I don't know how many times I've actually seen.
Anyway. Like,
I don't know how many times I've actually seen K-pop idols hold their light sticks. I mean, sure, maybe at like a fan meet but performing, I don't know if I've ever really seen them interact with light sticks. So I was like, sure, if that's what they wanted. And the other theory was just, it's a unique difference that attracts. And we'll see it, they are quite a unique band in general of how they've done certain things. So, fine. So,
sure.
That is the basics of Day6 in my day. So we'll go in and break down the members. So the first member here we have is Sungjin, Park Sungjin, ENFJ, born in 93, and his emoji is a bear. He's the leader, main vocalist, and rhythm guitarist of Day6. And he's a Busaner, okay? Another talented Busaner. And some basic facts about him. In 2009, he won a Desang for Chin Chin Youth Festival. He also made a famous appearance in a famous variety show, Star King, in the same year. He revealed that he received casting offers from 5 companies, and then he auditioned and passed for JYP and began his life as a JYP trainee. So he was talented, and a bunch of people wanted him after seeing him in this youth festival.
Okay, 2009, and then debuted 2015, so 6 years as a trainee, I guess.
Yeah. No, JYP loves to
long-term training.
Well, you'll find an interesting fact about another member regarding trainee. So, he's also been very open and transparent about his mental health struggles, which we love. I'll get more into detail about it, but there was a hiatus that Day6 went on in around 2019-2020. He was the first to enlist March 8, 2021, and he was discharged on September 7, 2022. He was a drill instructor, similar to like J-Hope, for example. He's known to be the group's strongest vocalist, balancing
he's
raw
the main,
emotion
right?
and stability in Day6 harmonies, okay? His raspy, soulful tone adds grit and heart to their rock sound.
Nice. Great job.
He also has one solo album that he released in 2024. It's called 30. It's the year he turned 30, clearly. And I thought it was interesting because since they are known as a self-produced group, I went and was curious how much credits they have, QJ credits. He has, as of October 30th, 2024, again, we know it's so hard to navigate the QJ system, but so as of October 30th, 2024, he has 85 songs credited to him. Okay.
Yeah, and I guess like they just dropped that Decade album, so it's probably like, a couple more up from that. Maybe low 90s now.
Maybe he's at 90. Yeah, maybe he's at 90s. So some interesting fun facts. He's good friends with JB from GOT7. Yeah, so again, if I didn't mention it, they are a JYP band, which so makes sense why GOT7, and there'll be mentions of Bang Chan and Stray Kids, but he trained with Jinyoung and JB before they debuted in GOT7. He's also a really good dancer, but he always does ugly quote-unquote dancing when he's asked to do it in broadcast. When he was originally a trainee, he was a trainee for dance, but switched to band vocal after showing strong musical instincts.
Okay.
And I always appreciate this. While he can appear serious, he's known for dry humor, Busan accent, and occasionally dorky charm that fans love.
I think I kind of know what the Busan accent is. Like, I think I can kind of tell when they're doing it, but like still really not that good, but only because I think Jimin does it a lot, like as a joke. So I'm like, now I'm like kind of, okay, I kind of get it. It's like, I couldn't describe it to you, but I got it.
Yeah, we hear it all the time. Like Jimin and Jungkook, but then also like, here, like this guy is like, oh, he's known for his Busan accent. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
He also became a weekly radio host for KBS Station Z on November 2022. And fellow members often tease him because he's the Busan juicy older man. He gives advice and speaks in Satori, which again I think
that's what the accent's called. Yeah.
So, and because we love this, they have the ideal type section. He wants a girl like his mom. I was like, okay. But when I did some more research on this ideal type, at least for all of them, it was on like a radio show, the people's asked him. So like, I'm sure they're just like, sure, whatever. Mm-hmm. So when he had to choose between a few options, he said he'd prefer short hair and someone who's sexy and tall. Okay.
But also like his mom?
Yeah.
Okay, weird.
Okay, whatever, sure.
Sure.
But that's the leader. That's the leader. A bit about the leader, Sunjin. The next person is YoungK, Kang Young-hyun, or Brian Kang. It comes into play. Don't worry.
Brian. Sure.
I mean, Brian's a solid name. What is wrong with Brian?
This guy does not look like a Brian.
I mean, we all know what a Brian looks like.
It ain't this.
ENTP, born in 1993, and he's the fox emoji, which I see. I feel like the fox guys.
Yeah, that's true. The nose. He has like
face.
slender nose.
Yeah, we know about Fox. He's the main rapper, main vocalist, bassist of Day6. He was raised in Ilsan, which I believe is where RM was also raised. I think so. It's close to Seoul. But then, this is interesting. So, in middle school, he left Korea and went to Toronto. And, interesting fact, he has not lived with his parents since the 6th grade. That stuff blows
I guess if you
mind.
go somewhere else for school, and then after that you're going to like college or work or whatever, so like you're not moving back home, right? So I guess it's crazy though.
And so that's why he's known as Brian, because he lived in Toronto for a bit, from his young youth until like about his 20s. But then the next fact is what's so funny and sad to me. He began his career in 2010 under the name Brian Kang as a member of the musical trio. That's not the funny fact, but the funny fact is basically when he comes back to Korea, because he obviously goes back, his parents are like, cool, I'm going to move back to Toronto. So like,
what? So like, wow, it seemed like you had a great time there, so we're going to go now.
Yeah, I'll get into it, but I thought that was so funny. Because him be like, okay, mom, dad, I'm going to go to Toronto and educate myself or whatever. I don't know what. In 6th grade, then he's like, oh, I'm coming back, and they're like, cool, we're gonna go to Toronto. Anyway, so that's probably why it said they haven't lived with his parents in the 6th grade, because even when he went back to Korea, they weren't there anymore.
Sure.
Yeah, it was kind of insane. So in 2010, so under Brian King, he was a member of a musical trio in Toronto. This group won first place at in a math dance competition, which apparently was held somewhere in Canada. I'm like, sure. Anyway.
Okay.
But he was scouted by JYP with his other band member, Don Lee. And their band name was Third Degree.
So only 2 out of 3 were scouted.
Yeah,
And the third guy was like, all right, bye, I guess.
He's like, bye, I guess.
I'll just stay here.
Well, no, maybe he was like Canadian, like white Canadian or something.
Yeah,
guy.
right.
I don't know.
Still, it's just like, all right, bye, guys.
Bye. So then King, because he got scouted by JYP and he accepted, he moved back to Korea in 2010, became a trainee, and then after he signed the contract with JYP, his father retired and then moved to Toronto. I just find that
like, yeah, you're all set here.
You're fine. You got a good contract. Yeah. So anyway, so funny to me. He then appeaed on this again classic on a competition called Win Who Is Next as part of JY's rapping team with GOT7's Mark Twain and Jackson Wang. Yeah. So GOT7 and Day6 are like tight. Also on the show, there's a vocalist team, which eventually would become a part of Day6. So they weren't a part of Day6, but wow. He is known for his versatile voice, energetic stage presence, and lyrical depth. He quickly became one of the band's most prominent figures. He's actually, I was surprised, he's actually the one that does most of the writing. Because you'll see here, his Comca credits as of July 2024 is 190 compared to Sunjin's 85.
Does that put him in the top 10? I wonder.
Oh yeah, he's credited on almost every Day6 song, either as a lyricist or a composer. He's one of the core creative forces behind the sound. His writing often touches on introspection, resilience, emotional honesty, balancing poetic expression with relatability. Man's an artist.
He is actually, well, just on this list from 2025, January 2025, he's actually 4th with 200. Is YoungK, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually listed on this old chart that I always use. It's like the most recent thing I could find. 4th place.
That's
200.
so interesting.
Just underneath Bangchan and just above Woozi.
Okay, there we go. There's the connection.
That's my one piece of Day6 lore.
He's also done some solo work. He's had a couple mini albums from 2021 to 2023. He enlisted on October 12th, 2021, and was discharged April 11th, 2023. Now, he served in Cat USA. We briefly talked about this in our military episode, but basically it's the Korean augmentation to the U.S. Army service. So basically you are serving in the Korean Army, but they're very connected to the U.S. Army, so you kind of learn how to serve also in the American Army, basically. But as we've seen with most idols, he's won awards in his military career. 2022 8th Army Best Warrior competition. He won that competition, and then he was also the 8th Army branch of the U.S. Army promoted him to sergeant, a U.S. Army rank of sergeant, a rank equivalent to sergeant in the Korean Army. So,
slay.
Pop off. And I've seen like some like army photos of him where he's like full mud face and like in the trenches or whatever. So yeah, he was real deal in the military, I guess.
Nice.
There's some interesting little fun facts about him. He spent Christmas 2016 alone drinking grape juice, watching cartoons.
Okay.
Now, YoungK and Bangchan were roommates as trainees. Okay?
Whoa.
He really wants everyone to call him YoungK, but everyone calls him Brian.
Guys, call me YoungK.
YoungK, I'm not Brian, okay? And his ideal type, he doesn't mind. He's open.
No breath.
But when he had to choose long hair, someone sexy and tall, again.
Okay.
I get cut out of all these categories with the tall option.
He's like a member that I actually like. I think I've seen and like knew of before, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's the member when we were doing the GOT7 episode, and it was like Mark Twan, like he translated for him when he was like arguing with other trainees or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was Brian. I was like, that's a name that I know for sure.
Yeah, and he seemed like he was pretty close with Mark Twain due to that. Mark
Twain.
Mark Twain, sorry. Due to like the competition where they were rapping together. So yeah, it makes sense. And I feel like I didn't watch a lot of content, but from just reading about him, he seems to be like, he's not labeled face of the group, but I feel like he's kind of the face of the group. So that's the vibe I get from him. Okay, the next member we have is Wonpil, Kim Wonpil, INFJ, 1994, Rabbit, main vocalist, keyboardist, synthesizer, visual.
2 main vocalists?
Yeah.
How can they both be the main?
We talked about this. We've had
the main is supposed to be the best one. How can they both be the best? Now all of a sudden we can have 2 mains.
Yeah. If you listen to Day6, they have very different vocal stylings. Okay?
Yeah, it's almost like everyone does, and everyone should get to be the main.
He was born in Incheon. His parents run a piano academy, and he learned how to play by himself. Sure.
Okay.
Sure, that's right.
Whoa.
But fine.
Whoa.
Fine. So yeah, he's the keyboardist. He, was raised as a piano player. Okay. Again, he was one of the JYP trainings that was on the dance team with YoungK. We'll find out later, but a member left really early on named Jun Hyuk, and so he took over. Wonpil took over as the keyboardist position after Jun Hyuk left. His style leans towards the emotional and sentimental, often centering on love, longing, and vulnerability. His musical touch tends to bring soft warmth and emotional nuance, balancing the band's rock edge with dreamy, heartfelt sound. Okay.
That's so true.
And if you do listen to he's one of the more like high vocal ranges in the composition, so sure. He's done some acting and musical theater. He has 1 solo mini album. He was very interesting in his military service. So he enlisted March 28, 2022 in the Navy, which we do not see a lot of idols serve in the Navy. He also had an early discharge of October 31st, 2023, but his official discharge date was November 27th. I honestly tried to look so hard into why he was released early. Basically, the best speculation was that he just saved all his vacation, basically.
Oh, yeah. I did see something like that before. Like, sometimes when it gets close to discharge date, they technically leave, like, a week early or whatever, because they have, like, days left or whatever. I remember that happening with, like, BTS. They were like, yeah, they're probably all done, because they just save days or whatever. Well, that's a lot of days to save. Oh, I guess it's a month's worth, so it's not that much, but still.
Yeah, I said 3 to 4 weeks that they saved. I know. I was like, that's dedication to, like, just keeping all your vacation days to the end, but...
Again.
So he was the first JYP idol to ever join the Navy, a branch known for its longer and demanding service.
That's what I was gonna say. I thought the Navy was longer. That's why they don't really do it, right?
Yeah, I believe in our research before it was 2 years. Yeah. So again, makes sense why if he wanted to join the Navy, maybe he was like, okay, I gotta keep all my time till the end. But the reason why he said he wanted to join the Navy was because to serve honorably and return with pride. And he thought the Navy would help him grow as a person, become stronger mentally, physically. Okay. He also said he wanted to carry on his duty properly. Yeah, so that's why he chose the Navy. He just really took it seriously in his own mind of like being like, no, I'm gonna serve. I'm gonna serve in the Navy. And for him, Comcred credits as of October 30th, he has 129. So. Not bad. Yeah, and also, like, again, some of these fun facts are so random. He has a 4D personality. I don't know what that means. But he's got lots of ego, and he's naturally clean. Get out of my face, okay? He's good friends with Jin Young from GOT7, and he's close with Dowoon, He is the magnet of the group because he always wanted a younger brother.
Okay.
And his ideal type, girls who know what they want, go for it. Okay. When he had to choose between options, he couldn't choose between someone cute and sexy, but he said he prefers tall girls, which I get. Come on, guys. Where's the short love? Okay. Yeah, so that's Wonpil. Found it very interesting about his whole Navy aspect. Okay, then Do Young. This guy, I guess he's chameleon because he's ENFJ, INTJ, previously INFP, ISFP, ESTJ. Okay, sure.
Okay.
Born in 95. Dog emoji. Drummer, vocalist, and magna. Again, born in Busan. These Busaners out here. He was quite interesting when doing research. He was solely recruited for drumming. He was not a vocalist or anything like that. He was only the drummer. He was not on any of the vocal tracks in the beginning of Day6. He was also one of the fastest debut trainees in JYP history at the time. He only went through 3 months of training before he debuted.
I guess if they were just like drumming, they're like, yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he doesn't need to dance, doesn't need to sing. Though he was only an instrumentalist, he was very, he wanted to learn more, he wanted to do more, so he started to grow as a vocalist, and he became officially singing around the 2018 era. His deep, gentle tone complements the emotional intensity of the other members, adding warmth and depth to band harmonies. He also started to take part in more songwriting and composing later, and he expressed that he wanted to learn more guitar and piano to expand his musicality, so he took it seriously. He came and joined the band and said, no, I want to be better. And then he enlisted in January 17, 2022. He was an active duty soldier and, of course, a part of the military band, which they all seem to be, and was discharged in July 16, 2023. His ears get red when he's shy, guys. And I copy and pasted this last one verbatim on the website. He mad at Wonpil for wanting to share the same bed. Okay? So he's big mad. Again, he seems like Wonpil was the one that loves Doewon because he wants a younger brother, but it sounds like Doewon's like, chill.
Yeah, like, please give me some breathing room.
Yeah. And his ideal type, girls with pretty smiles. Okay, hi. What do you have to choose? He said prefers long hair, someone who's sexy and tall. Again, he's tall. Okay, so those are the 4 members that are currently in Day6 at this moment. So This is where we get a little spicy. So we have 2 former members. I will start with the one that left first. So Junhyuk, Im Junhyuk. They don't have no MBTI, no emoji. Okay, so he got out fast. So he was born in '93, and he was the keyboard and a vocalist. Just very brief facts. He was born in Busan, and so on February, they debuted September 2015, so like not even 6 months later. On February 27, 2016, it was announced that he left the company due to personal reasons, which JYP loves to do.
Yeah. Personal
reasons. So there is a lot of speculation that he was dating, and JYP hates dating, especially the first 3 years of debut. So that's allegedly the reason he left, was because he was dating. But you know what? I'll save it for the band history section.
Okay.
Keep it on a little spicy. He has some solo work, and he listed in 2020, but he's living his life. He joined a couple other bands after he left Day6, but he has some spicy drama. Okay, so we'll get to him later. And then the other big member that left, he was like Park Jae-hyun, INTP, 1992, lead guitarist, main vocalist, face of the group. This guy, like, everyone loved this guy at the time. But also don't confuse him with the other J Park, okay? Who's at 2 p.m., which is also JYP and also got ousted from the band. It's very interesting. J Parks are kind of cursed, I guess, in the name. Okay, so this J Park, He was born in Argentina, which is interesting. Then he moved to California. He was mostly born and raised all in the U.S., so he's very, and he was exempt from service. He's American, like all that. In 2012, he took leave from university to compete as a singer-guitarist in the first season of Kpop Star. So he was in the States at this time, so he took leave from university in the States. He was eliminated in 6th place, but JYP offered him a contract and he accepted, and then he moved to South Korea. I'll get into it, but he left. His contract was terminated December 31st, 2021, and he formally left the group January 2022. Okay? He also has a bunch of solo work under the name EAJ, so his name backwards. And he still is active in doing solo work. One cool thing that I really admire about him, in 2020, he initiated From Friends, a project partner with Represent, selling clothing and other merchandise, and all the money I don't know if all the money, but a lot of money got raised and donated to JED Foundation, which helps provide free mental health resources to teenagers and young adults. And he's been very open about his mental health, but there's some spice there, so we'll see. And just because it was there, his ideal type prefers short hair, someone cute and short.
Okay.
Finally, somebody likes short people. Okay. All right, so those were all the members. So now we're gonna go into the band history. Okay. So JYP wanted to form a rock band focusing on self-composed music. Members were recruited for solely their instrumental skills, vocals, and songwriting ability. And from this, Day6 was born. So 2014, they were originally going to be named Five Live, so they only had 5 members at the time. J Park, YoungK, Sunjin, Wonpil, and Junghyuk. So Do-won wasn't in the picture at this time. But they also apparently wanted to change the name because Maroon 5 was popular at the time, so they were like, oof, that's too close. But, so 2015 debut, this was when Do-won joined, so they renamed the name of the band as Day6. Okay, so then we have Junghyuk. He departed the band in early 2016, fairly early on after they debuted. Apparently, he was having private conversations with fans, and apparently he was dating one of these girls. And then later it was found out that it was apparently a Sasang he was, like, dating too. Or, like, talking with. I know. So I don't know. Again, I found the Sasang part. I was watching a YouTube video, so keep that with a grain of salt. But I was like, if that's true, if it was truly a Sasang he was, like, dealing with, like, bro, you could do better.
Yeah, I'm like, why would you even want that?
I know. So, but I guess that was the major thing. That's all I could really see was that he was chatting with some people, and he was apparently dating someone, and that's, like, a huge no-no for JYP. So that's why apparently he left. So
Sure.
And so then, yeah, I was like, okay, but yeah, I thought that was, like, spicy about us to say. I was like, yeah, we'll go Rose if he was really dating, like, a stalkery fan. So even dating a fan period is, like,
yeah, it's
can be questionable. Depends on the situation, but, like,
yeah.
Okay, this was the most interesting thing I found, in my opinion. So in 2017, what they launched was called the Everyday Project, where they released 2 new songs every month of the year 2017 for a total of 25 songs at the end of the year. And they also, halfway through that, released a full album, which consisted of the first half of the month song, or first half of the year's song. Interesting. And again, remember, they are the ones that are writing and producing all these songs. So insane. But because of this really blew them up in popularity, and it really set the stage for them, and especially to, like, get such a unique concept. So that was 2017. Now we're gonna enter the 2019 to 2021 was the Book of Us era. So they had 4 albums. Book of Us, Gravity was an EP in July 2019, and then only, like, a few months later, Book of Us Entropy was a full album, October 2019. Next one was a full album, May 2020, Book of Us Demon. Then the last one was Book of Us Negentropy, Chaos Swallowed Up in Love. An EP from April 2021. Okay, why this is important is you can see they just did this year-long thing of writing 2 songs a month. And then they went straight into this Book of Us era. Some of this really took a toll on the members. So specifically Sunjin and Jay, they both described extreme burnout and high demand to create all this stuff within such a small amount of time. So during this time, so for the Book of Us Demon, JYP was like, cool, yeah, or they're releasing a new album. But then like the day before the scheduled release, they announced that Day6 would be taking a temporary hiatus to focus on their health. And then it was later revealed that it was mostly because of Sunjin and Jay. So Sunjin mentioned he like felt like he like lost who he was as a person, and he really struggled because with perfectionism and responsibility of leading the group. So yeah, and then he later confirmed that when he did take this break, he was fully like, I'm out. Like he fully tapped out and really took a serious break away and focused on himself. But during this time, they created a subunit in 2020 called Even Up Day, and this was with YoungK, Wonpil, and Do-won, the other members. So basically, to me, when I was doing the research, it really seemed like it was kind of like a cover for the other two members, so they were still able to be like, oh cool, Day6 is still chilling, and we still like, don't worry about Day6, basically. Yeah. It was kind of like a promotional thing to try to like avoid the drama of someone taking mental health breaks. But where the spicier thing comes in 2021, this was still during kind of the hiatus. In December 2021, Jay announced he would take a break from Day6, but would come back. But then the next day after he makes that announcement, JYP was like, actually the contract is terminated. They would not return to Day6. And then, so that's when everyone was speculating. And as we all know, it's so hard to get information because of Korea's privacy laws. So it's very hard to find anything. It seemed like Jay Park always wanted to come back, but JYP was like, no way. He later said it was because of the cultural shift from America to Korea that he was like really couldn't deal with the fact that like in America you're very much taught, like North America you're very much taught, you are responsible for yourself. You could say you have to be a rebel, you speak out, whatever. That's not what it's like in Korea. If you speak out, it affects everyone in the group. So he found that very challenging. Now, where it kind of gets spicy is that it seemed like he was a bit of a brat. And from some of the information I learned is that he just didn't deal with that very well, like that balance, and it was really causing a rift with some of the members, that he was just not a culture, like getting into that type of culture.
I mean, I can kind of get that. Like, imagine if you had to go from being how independent and like normal to what our standards are to being like, no, you have to think about all these people and like make your actions with all these people, but you're like, yeah, but I don't agree with that. Like, it's like, well, you don't really have a choice. I always thought that was weird because like even people who go there, like when the American members go there, they like start using the like honorifics and stuff. I'm like, I would feel so awkward like saying that, but it's like, no, you have to. I'm like, well, I don't really want to refer to you like my big bro. Like you're not. So like I don't want to say that, but like you kind of have to. Like I always thought that would be like so difficult, and I could definitely see why somebody like maybe some people can find it easier time adapting, but like not everyone, right?
Yeah, so exactly. So it seemed like, yeah, on top of that, it's just general depression and mental health issues, and it felt like when he left or when he was forced to leave, there's also like theories that like he just wasn't getting along with JYP, like the corporation itself, which of course, if he's speaking out and anyway, a bunch of all that stuff.
Yeah.
But when he did end up leaving, he was like cut out. Like he was. Even if you go to their Wikipedia page, there is a photo of the 4 of them, but it was literally a picture of the 5 of them, and they just cropped it. So he was getting like cropped out. He was getting basically erased from the history of Day6, which to me is kind of messed up because
like it doesn't seem like he left for a controversial reason. It's like not like he didn't like do something horrific, like some of these other idols who do get cut out like that. It's like, yeah, there's a difference of opinion. Like you don't have to go so hard.
Exactly, and I just thought it was like so shady that Again, who knows? Again, it's always gonna be tough to find out. It seemed like to me he left better than, for example, Wushin left from Stray Kids. It seems like he left at the end of a promotional time. He apparently left at the end of the Book of Us series. So to me, when I read all the research, it seemed like he left at the right time. Like, not just like in the middle. He's not like, F you guys, I'm leaving. So to me, it seemed fine, but who knows what the internal struggles were, if he was like a brat, if he was a rat. But also, like, you're in your 20s and you're creating all this music. I can't imagine the pressure that this band went through, because it seemed like they asked a lot from this band. So, kind of during that departure time, the hiatus, we had the hiatus, we had the even of Day subuted. Then we started the military era, so 2021 to 2023. So I kind of went through basically when they all did their service. It basically, if you do all the math, they all served around the same. Like, they all served at the same time, basically. Sunjin was the first one to leave, but when he came back, all the other 3 members were off. So, like, basically they did the service all at the same time. Which now, this, again, I found this so fascinating. At one point in 2022, Even of Day performed at the Armed Forces Day, which we know all about now. I just thought it was so cute. They all are vastly different, the branches that they served in. And I also linked this if you ever want to watch it. It's them performing, like, it's basically this clip. You can see above here in our notes. I was like, that's just so interesting to me. Like, look at this photo. Like, they're all vastly different branches. Anyway, they all came together and they performed it. And yeah. Okay, and then 2024, post-military era. So now, Jay Park is gone and he's doing his own thing. They all come back. They're all out of military. The first EP they release is called Forever, spelled like 4.
Like Four, like the number.
Yeah. I was like, that is some shade to me when I saw that. Now, there's a lot of back and forth. Jay Park's openly discussed that he felt hurt by it. I can see that, but
I mean,
also,
he wrote all this stuff for them, and then they were like, "You cut from the band," and now they're like, "We're actually just 4 people forever, so you don't even get to come back."
Yes. Exactly. So,
It does seem to imply that there was more to behind the scenes, like between members, probably, maybe.
Exactly.
Allegedly.
That's why when I saw this part, I was like, this is spicy, because that is saying something. Even if it wasn't them, or if it was JYP that was like, you're going to call it this. Regardless, there's something there. And I was like, that is nuts. But yeah, Jay Park, there's that, I forget the guy's name, but he always does interviews with a bunch of K-pop guys. He's like a white dude.
I don't know that guy's name either, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, perfect. And so he had Jay Park on not too long ago, like last year, let's say, and he openly discussed all of this on that podcast. And he said, yeah, I was hurt. Like, I spent all my 20s in Day6 and I wrote a lot of the music. So it was kind of painful to see Forever. Now, I can see where his perspectives come from, but he also did leave.
Yeah.
But again, it's the question, did he actually want to leave? Or was he forced out?
Yeah, I mean, also, if he was saying, like, I'm hoping I'll come back at some point, it's like, obviously somebody made a decision to say, no, actually, you won't come back at any time. And he's like, oh, okay, well, cool.
Yeah, exactly. So, who knows, but shady. But I saw some back and forth online, and some people took it as, oh, they're saying, like, the 4 remaining members, they're going to be forever, and, like, they will keep the Day6 name alive. Sure, I can see you spin it that way, but to me, it's like, we're 4 members, 4 forever.
Yeah. That's
it. There was never 2 other members. No.
I mean, there was barely that other guy. Like, I wouldn't even really include him.
Exactly. I don't think the whole, Jin Hyuk, that's fine. But Jay Park, man, he was involved, and he was like a fan favorite. Like, everyone loved him, apparently. And he was, again, because he had the American background, he got a lot of traction on both sides. So it's really unfortunate what happened to him. But yeah, we don't know. We don't actually know. But there's some like spicy tea behind the scenes there. But I know we just said all that, but it did seem like being the member group really did benefit them because they won their first ever Desang in December 27th, 2024.
And 2024 is also when they got the commendation for the Arts and Culture Award.
Exactly. Yeah, they brought home the 2024 Grand Performer Award along with Best Band and Best Song Awards from the Korea Grand Music Awards. So, and then yes, they got the accommodation from the Korean Culture and Arts, and apparently they made history by being the first K-band ever to perform at the Gocheok Sky Dome for their 2024 Christmas concert, which is interesting because that Sky Dome is in South Korea. It's not like it was in some random other country, so exciting.
I think it's like, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's just like, because it's like one of their bigger arenas, so like some of those groups don't necessarily go there all the time. I mean, it seems like the breaks and the hiatuses kind of did something for them, so
I know. Again, looking through all their history, it seemed to work out for them. Although they had a lot of rough patches there, they had a hiatus, which again, always, or not always, can really kill the momentum of a band. And also, as we know, and when members leave, that is a big hit against groups.
yeah.
Whether or not, for our perspective, in North America, if someone does something messed up, that's on them. That's not on the group. But it does seem like after this research, now I understand a bit more. When one member leaves, it seems to really be a reflection on the entire band from South Korea perspective, which doesn't make sense to me personally, but sure. If you go, oh, this band needs to be a certain way and one member messes up, that would be so much pressure. So I can honestly understand why maybe someone like Jay Park, who comes from this mentality, goes there and goes like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Like, relax, not that serious.
Yeah, like I always use the Suga example of him like DUI quote unquote on a scooter. Something like that could affect the whole band, which I'm like, that's insane to me. But again, BTS is a whole other thing. They're so big. But
yeah.
that's a little more about Day6. Very interesting. Has a very colored past, which I didn't know. And overall, their music, I personally really do like them. I really like this. For me, I'm noticing in K-pop world that I enjoy like the band pop music. I really like them. So I like Day6 and I really like Onewe. Some of their most iconic songs are Congratulations, which is a great song. Yeah, do you have any favorite Day6 songs?
Yeah, Disco Day.
Oh yeah. That's from the decade, right?
Yeah.
The latest album, yeah.
I had I was kind of like dipping back into some of our other playlists and stuff like that, and I actually added a song from the Book of Us the Demon, Love Me or Leave Me. I liked that song as well.
Nice. I think there's another song called Colors that I really like. But yeah, great band. Okay, and for me, bias, again, very early on, but I think it might be can't even say his own. Can't even say his name. I'm so sorry.
Doan?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Doan.
I don't have a bias right now, but I feel the most connected to Brian. So, we'll see.
Yeah, Brian's super cute. I know, it's close to Brian. And honestly, me, a leader guy, Sunjin was up there. Because I love someone that understands mental health and, like, very advocate of that, but...
Yeah, I would say he seems appealing as well, so I could see that, too.
And he looks really good with his long hair.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the picture, like, we pulled a couple of pictures from their Decade album, I guess, and he has, like, long, like... Yeah. Kind of cool, like, band hair, like, band guy hair. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, for sure. That's Day6, guys. I hope you go take a look at Day6, because they've done some very interesting things that I've never seen another K-pop or K-group do. Like that, a year, 2 songs a month, that's insane. And especially, like, again, they're a self-producing group. To come up with 2, and apparently they were very like good, like banger songs that like people are like, these are musically great. Sure, unbelievable.
Crazy. So great job, Day6. Keep up the good work.
I am a part of my day now.
I prefer to consider myself a daydreamer.
A daydreamer. I'm part of daylight, so. Okay, everyone. Well, that's Day6, and we'll catch you on the flip.
Bye.
Bye.